On this episode of Will It Work with vMix, we'll be looking at the AJA IO X3 Thunderbolt capture device. It was released by AJA earlier this year and allows you to connect up to 4 1080p cameras. But the question is, will it work with vMix? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Heath from vMix. Like all of these videos, we don't like to keep you in suspense, so will it work with vMix? Yes it will. The AJA IO X3 is the baby brother to the IO 4K Plus and is fully compatible with vMix. It offers up to 4x 1080p 60 feeds using the bidirectional 3G SDI connectors and the single HDMI 1.4b input or output connectors. So you can add up to 4 HD cameras into vMix, or you can output one while bringing in 3, or if your version of vMix supports 2 outputs, you can output 2 and input 2, making it very versatile. It also has a DB25 analog audio connector, allowing up to 8 channels of audio in or out over XLR using an optional breakout cable. It is important to quickly note that to use all these great features, you will need to be running the latest version of vMix 25 or above. And another important note, this is a Thunderbolt 3 device, so while vMix supports the device, you'll need to ensure that your computer supports Thunderbolt 3 or 4. It's very easy to think that you have Thunderbolt because it uses the same connector as USB-C, but most of the time these connectors are USB 3.1 or 3.2 and not Thunderbolt at all. Thunderbolt is more common in laptops than desktops, and that makes sense because if you have a desktop, you can use a PCIe slot for a capture card, while laptops don't have the room, so external devices are needed. So if you want to use the AJA IO X3, make sure your computer has a Thunderbolt 3 or 4 port. Sometimes you'll see a Thunderbolt symbol beside the port, but be extra careful because the Thunderbolt symbol is a lightning bolt with an arrowhead, and some devices use a similar looking lightning bolt without an arrowhead to indicate power. Some don't include a symbol at all, so my recommendation is to check the specifications or manual of the device to be sure. Okay, with that covered, we could go ahead and wrap this up, right? I mean, it works. Yay. No, it wouldn't be a proper Will It Work with vMix video without actually using the product. So let's go ahead and connect the AJA IO X3 up to a laptop and see how it goes. Firstly, we'll need a Thunderbolt cable to connect our IO X3 to the laptop. Just like the ports, there are specific Thunderbolt 3 and 4 cables, and they can be pricey, but they are necessary. The IO X3 has 2 connection points, and either will work. The second is for looping through another Thunderbolt device, but we don't recommend that as you might run into bandwidth limitations. Now, we'll connect a few cameras via the SDI ports 2, 3, and 4. I could use one as well, of course, but I'll explain why I'm picking 2, 3, and 4 a little bit later. And finally, we'll plug in the power cable to kick the IO X3 into gear. And with this done and my laptop turned on, it's time to head over to the AJA website to download the drivers. So we go to aja.com, support, then we go to the downloads, and we select our device from the mobile IO, the IO X3. Then we find the software section, and we elect for Windows, and we download the driver package. Okay, with that done, we can open it up and extract it, and then run the installation. Okay, we've now successfully installed the drivers. We'll restart the computer. The computer's restarted now, so we can open up vMix. Now you can see on here, we've got a little green light now. That indicates that the device is ready to roll. Also, importantly, it's a Thunderbolt device and vMix only looks for Thunderbolt devices on startup. And so if you add a Thunderbolt device halfway through a production or while you've already got vMix open, vMix is not going to recognize that device. So you need to restart vMix for it to be recognized. Okay. Let's go to Add Input. And from here, we can add our first camera. I've set up a camera to my left And it is on input 2 because we connected it into 2, 3, and 4, if you remember. I'm clicking OK. And here's my first camera. Hello. Now my second camera is actually a second SDI feed out of our main training camera. So it'll look like a duplicate, because it is. So that's on input 3. I'll click on OK. There it is, hello. And then finally, I've added a third, which is on input 4. And it is stationed behind the IO X3 right here. Hi there. There we go. We've now got 3 cameras coming in, and you might want to send a feed out to something like a field monitor. So here I've got a Shogun from Atomos, and I can plug that in via SDI into that first connector. So I'll do that now. There we go, so that's connected in now, and I can turn the device on. And while that's turning on, I'll show you how to add it as an output. So if we go up to settings, and then we go down to external output, and here we can tick external renderer to use an external renderer or an output card. From here we go to our device, and we pick IO X3 output 1. And here we select the connection type, which is SDI. And then we can select the audio channel. We can use master or any range of audio. And finally, we click OK. And now all we need to do is hit the external button and we'll be outputting our output. So if I switch cameras to here and here, and then I click on the fade, we get a fade to our output monitor. There we go. All right, that's how you can set up 3 inputs and 1 output on this device. And I could have set it up for 4 inputs or 2 in, 2 out. It's a very versatile little device. If I was to go out and buy a Thunderbolt enclosure and put a capture card inside it, it would be a lot more bulky and wouldn't be anywhere near as robust as this device. It's also about half the price of its big brother, the IO 4K Plus. And so if you're not looking for 4K content and only need 1080p 60 at maximum, well, this is an exceptional option. And finally, it offers 8 channels of audio over that DB25 connector if you want to use one. And so that's a pretty cool feature if you want to go into a mixer or something like that with XLR. I didn't go into a lot of detail about that, but we do cover a bit more of that in our audio buses video, so I'll be sure to link that in the description. Okay, if you want to know more about the AJA IO X3, you can head to the AJA website. And if you want to know more about using it with vMix, then send us an email from our support page at vmix.com. This is the best way for us to help because technical support in the YouTube comments below just isn't very effective. And while you're over at our website, you can also take a look at the extensive list of other vMix compatible hardware that we've tested so that you don't have to. We list things like capture card devices and PTZ cameras and control surfaces. So thanks for watching this episode of Will It Work with vMix? I'll see you next time.